Hey everyone, welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm your host, Adrian, and if you're here for facts, fire and zero fluff when it comes to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking aim at royal commentator Robert Jobson, who's running with this desperate, classless narrative that Meghan and Harry are begging King Charles for handouts now that their Netflix deal is wrapping up. Let's break it down and call this mess exactly what it is: pure projection and tabloid fantasy. As they grow and mutate, these narratives can take on a momentum of their own, evolving with each retelling until they feel like undeniable facts. The line between what is real and what is speculation can quickly blur, especially when stories are amplified by the constant churn of the media cycle. Recently, a particularly striking story has emerged in the press, suggesting that Prince Harry is seeking peace talks with King Charles, not out of a genuine desire for reconciliation, but rather because of financial desperation. This narrative has captured public attention, fueling debates and headlines across the country. But where is the concrete evidence for this claim? What sources are these stories based on? And how reliable are they? Are these claims truly rooted in verifiable fact? Or are they simply speculation, repeated and amplified for dramatic effect? It's important to pause and question the motivations behind such headlines. Royal commentators and media outlets often feel pressure to deliver compelling stories, but the narrative of financial desperation risks oversimplifying what is, in reality, a deeply complex and personal family dynamic. There are often many layers and perspectives that get lost in the rush to publish a sensational headline. As we begin this exploration, let's make a conscious effort to look beyond the dramatic headlines. By approaching this story with nuance, curiosity, and a commitment to facts, we can better understand the real dynamics at play, rather than simply accepting the loudest narrative. The Sussexes' recently ended deal with Spotify has often been framed in the media as a high-profile failure, with headlines suggesting disappointment and unmet expectations. However, this narrative overlooks the complex and ever-evolving nature of the media industry, where deals are rarely as simple as they appear on the surface. In reality, media contracts are almost always project-based. Companies and creators collaborate for specific shows, series, or podcasts, each with a defined scope and timeline. These agreements are designed to be flexible, adapting to changing trends and audience interests. Many shows and podcasts are intentionally created to have limited runs, ending naturally once their goals are met or their stories are told. This is a standard practice, not a sign of failure or collapse. The conclusion of a contract is simply a routine part of the creative business cycle, reflecting the industry's need for innovation and renewal. For example, the Sussexes' partnership with Netflix is still very much active, demonstrating their ongoing relevance and adaptability in the entertainment world. Through this partnership, they have produced successful projects like the acclaimed Harry and Meghan docuseries and Heart of Invictus, both of which have reached wide audiences and sparked important conversations. Focusing solely on one concluded deal, while ignoring these ongoing achievements, creates a misleading and incomplete picture of their professional journey. The media's tendency to highlight setbacks over successes can distort public perception, making it seem as though a single contract defines an entire career. The popular narrative of financial desperation is often built on misinterpretation and speculation, rather than a true understanding of how the industry operates. In truth, the Sussexes are actively shaping their careers, exploring new opportunities, and building a brand on their own terms, not waiting for rescue, but forging their own path in the modern media landscape. When Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties, they committed to financial independence, giving up public funds. They repaid the full cost of Frogmore Cottage renovations, £2.40 million, demonstrating intent to stand on their own. Since then, they've built Archewell, secured major deals with Netflix and previously Spotify. These are business ventures, not handouts. Their financial model is separate from the crown, and they are not reliant on royal support. The narrative of desperation ignores their proactive, self-sustaining efforts. Their story is one of self-reliance, not helplessness. Media scrutiny of Harry and Meghan is far harsher than that faced by other royals, like Prince Andrew. While their business deals are dissected and motives questioned, others' controversies receive gentler treatment. The Sussexes' actions are consistently framed negatively, creating a distorted reality. Prince Andrew's legal settlements and finances are met with official silence, while the Sussexes face relentless demands for transparency. This double standard reveals a media agenda focused on punishing those who step outside the system. The scales of media justice are not balanced. The obsession with Harry and Meghan is about narrative control, not accountability. The real issue isn't the Sussexes' finances, but who controls their story. By stepping back and telling their own story through Oprah, Netflix, and Harry's memoir, they challenged the established order. The media's desperate for cash narrative is a tool to discredit them and reclaim control. If their motives are seen as financial, their criticisms can be dismissed. This is a classic tactic, attack the messenger, to invalidate the message. The backlash is about the media's loss of power as gatekeepers. The desperation narrative is just the latest weapon in a battle for narrative dominance. When Harry seeks to speak with his father, the simplest explanation is personal. He's a son concerned for his family. In moments of uncertainty, it's natural for a child to reach out to a parent, especially when the well-being of loved ones is at stake. The urge to reconnect, to bridge gaps, and to offer support is a deeply human response, not something that needs to be justified by ulterior motives. King Charles's health and the Princess of Wales's illness would prompt any family to seek reconciliation. When illness strikes, priorities shift, and old wounds often seem less important than the need for unity and compassion. In these moments, families come together, setting aside differences to focus on what truly matters, love, support, and healing. To frame this as financial desperation is to ignore basic human nature. It overlooks the emotional bonds that tie families together, especially in times of crisis. Money may be a topic for outsiders, but for those involved, the heart of the matter is connection and care. Family dynamics are complex, and the desire to heal rifts is universal. Every family faces challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of distance, but the longing to mend relationships is something everyone can relate to. It's a journey that requires patience, empathy, and courage. Commentators projecting financial motives replace a story of healing with one of cynicism. By focusing on money, they miss the deeper narrative, the hope for forgiveness, the possibility of renewed trust, and the strength found in coming together during hardship. Let's consider that Harry's intentions may be exactly what they seem, a son reaching out to his father. Sometimes the most honest explanation is also the most heartfelt. In reaching out, Harry is expressing vulnerability and a desire for closeness, not calculation. The simplest explanation is often the truest. This is about family, not finance. At its core, this story is about love, reconciliation, and the timeless hope that families can find their way back to each other, even after periods of pain and separation. Strip away tabloid noise, and a different picture of Harry and Meghan emerges, one of resilience and purpose. Through Archewell, they advocate for mental health and compassionate action, building a meaningful life outside royal tradition. Critics depend on the Sussexes for relevance, fueling negative narratives for profit. We must be critical consumers of media and ask who benefits from these stories. The desperate narrative is unfounded and serves the storyteller, not the truth. The real story is of a family forging their own path and contributing to the world. Meghan and Harry are not desperate, they are thriving. Here's the truth. Meghan and Harry are not desperate. They're not begging. They're navigating a new chapter with dignity and vision. And if peace talks are happening, good. Because healing matters more than headlines. The idea that this power couple, who have raised millions for charity, launched a global mental health initiative and built media platforms from scratch, are suddenly broke. It's laughable. So, to Robert Jobson and the tabloid machine, try a little harder. The world is waking up. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you love seeing Meghan and Harry's story told with truth and heart, Make sure to like, subscribe and share this video, and drop a comment below. Let me know how you see through these media games. I'm Adrian, and this has been Meghan and Harry Tales. See you next time, where we keep it real, royal and unapologetically Sussex.